Vlad the Impaler, Vlad the Impaler, son of the dragon. When you hear these names, what do you think? A ferocious beast that was born 800 years ago and still sucks the blood of mortals for its own selfish reasons. But no, these were actually the real names of one of the most legendary figures in history. And he was just an ordinary person like you and me. So what made him take such cruel and weird baths? Hello and welcome to our channel. Today we are going to find out about the man who bathed in blood to stay young. If you're ready, then let's get started. In Transylvania, medieval legends come alive. Tales of ferocious beasts and vampires have captivated people for centuries. Yet amidst these chilling stories lies a historical figure who stands out not as a monster, but as a cunning leader and strategist. His name, Vlad Tepes, or Vlad the Impaler, has become synonymous with darkness and blood. But the truth behind his crimson baths might surprise you. As we peel back the layers of this historical enigma, we discover the man behind the myths. Vlad III was born on December 3rd, 1431, in Sisaura, a medieval town in what is today Romania. His birth brought joy to the impoverished ruling family, the Dragas, as they saw it as a beacon of hope for their lineage. However, little did they know that the young prince's life would be marked by tragedy from the very beginning. When Vlad was just 11 years old, his father, Vlad II, met a gruesome end. Rumors swirled that Vlad II had been betrayed by his brother, Vlad the Impaler's uncle, and had met a violent demise, possibly by strangulation. This shocking event left a deep scar on the young prince, setting the stage for a life shaped by ambition and a thirst for power. Following his father's untimely demise, Vlad III's mother, Queen Elizabeta, took the throne. She shielded her son, providing him with a nurturing environment until he was 16 years old. At that point, she deemed him old enough to be sent to Krakow, Poland, where he could live with his uncle and learn the ways of courtly life. The story takes us now to Krakow, Poland, in the year 1446, where 15-year-old Vlad the Impaler had arrived accompanied by his mother's trusted advisor, a man named Nikolai. Their arrival in the royal court of Poland was not without purpose. Vlad's parents had secured an advantageous marriage alliance for him. He was to wed the 8-year-old princess of the ruling dynasty. While Vlad immersed himself in the Polish way of life, learning their language and customs, it was clear that his heart was not in it. Despite being introduced to the intricacies of courtly love and the ideals of chivalry, Vlad's thoughts often drifted back to Transylvania. But before we continue, make sure to subscribe so you won't miss out on any new and amazing stories we'll be bringing for you. Meanwhile, in Transylvania, a power struggle was brewing in the absence of Vlad the Impaler's father. His uncle, Vlad the Impaler, had assumed control and was ruling with an iron fist. He had even gone so far as to change the coat of arms of the region, removing the fleur de lis, a symbol of the French royal family, and replacing it with the more obscure brand of the Teutonic Order. This move was seen as a deliberate attempt to erase any ties to the French and to assert his dominance over Transylvania. The people suffered under his oppressive rule and longed for the return of Vlad the Impaler, who was seen as a potential liberator. Upon hearing of his uncle's tyranny, Vlad the Impaler's resolve to return to Transylvania hardened. In 1456, at the age of 25, he began making plans to reclaim his ancestral lands. But his path back to power was fraught with challenges. Vlad the Impaler found himself caught in a web of political intrigue when the Hungarian king refused to support his claim to the throne, citing questionable rumors about Vlad's legitimacy. Undeterred, Vlad turned to his former wife, Princess of Poland, and sought her aid. However, she also dismissed his pleas, unwilling to jeopardize her own position by aligning herself with a controversial claimant. Despite these setbacks, Vlad the Impaler was not one to surrender. He forged alliances with powerful figures in Transylvania, including nobles and members of the clergy, who recognized his charisma and determination. With their support, he launched a campaign to win back his birthright. In 1457, Vlad the Impaler's forces clashed with those loyal to his uncle, marking a pivotal moment in the struggle for control of Transylvania. The outcome of this battle would have profound consequences for Vlad's destiny and that of his homeland. The year is 1459, and Transylvania is on the brink of a new chapter in its history. Vlad the Impaler, having secured significant support, is preparing to take the throne. However, the path to power is never smooth, especially in the treacherous world of medieval politics. Vlad's uncle, the incumbent ruler, is a formidable opponent and is not ready to relinquish power without a fight. As the two factions prepare for an imminent showdown, the stage is set for a battle that will determine the fate of Transylvania. And in the midst of all this, Vlad the Impaler finds himself torn between his desire for power and his sense of duty to his people. Finally, after years of preparation and political maneuvering, Vlad the Impaler's time has come. He has successfully taken the throne of Transylvania, much to the delight of the populace who have endured years of oppressive rule under his uncle. But Vlad's journey is far from over. He now faces the monumental task of governing a region that has been drained by years of conflict and mismanagement. The people look to him with hope for a brighter future, and it is up to Vlad to meet their expectations. As Vlad settles into his role as ruler, he quickly sets about the task of addressing the pressing issues facing his domain. He works to restore order and stability, and his efforts are met with gratitude from his subjects. But not everyone is pleased with Vlad's rise to power. Among them is the enigmatic zombie, a mysterious figure who harbors resentment towards Vlad and seeks revenge for his own unknown grievances. Now that Vlad the Impaler is in power, the people of Transylvania can finally breathe a sigh of relief. They had endured years of oppression and cruelty under the previous ruler, and the arrival of a new leader brought with it a sense of hope for a better future. However, Vlad's ascent to the throne was not without its challenges. There were those who opposed his rule, such as the enigmatic zombie, a character shrouded in mystery and driven by a thirst for vengeance. As the story unfolds, we are introduced to a cast of characters who play pivotal roles in Vlad's journey. Among them is a young woman named Elena, who becomes entangled in the complex web of events surrounding Vlad. Her presence adds a layer of romance to the narrative, but it is unclear whether her feelings for Vlad are genuine or if she too has her own hidden agenda. Meanwhile, rumors begin to circulate about Vlad's strange behavior. Whispers speak of him bathing in blood and engaging in other disturbing practices, which only serve to deepen the enigma surrounding his character. Yet despite the challenges and controversies, Vlad presses on, determined to secure his place in history as a ruler who brought prosperity and justice to his people. The story reaches its climax as Vlad and his enemies prepare for a final showdown. The fate of Transylvania hangs in the balance, and the actions of a few key players will determine its future. Will Vlad emerge victorious and secure his legacy as a champion of his people? Or will his enemies prevail, plunging Transylvania into darkness? Vlad the Impaler's reign was marked by both triumphs and controversies. While he implemented policies to improve the lives of his subjects and restore order to the realm, he also engaged in bizarre practices that shocked many. One of the most disturbing rumors that circulated during his reign was his alleged practice of bathing in the blood of virgins. This gruesome tale, while likely sensationalized and exaggerated, reflects the fear and fascination surrounding Vlad's persona. During his lifetime, Vlad's opponents used these rumors to tarnish his reputation and undermine his authority. However, there may be some truth hidden beneath the layers of myth and legend. Historical records indicate that Vlad had a particular interest in blood, not necessarily in the way commonly imagined. Instead, he was fascinated by the medicinal qualities of blood and its potential to cure various ailments. In medieval times, bloodletting was a common medical practice, and Vlad may have taken this interest to an extreme. Some historians suggest that Vlad's alleged bloodbaths were actually elaborate medical experiments, where he tested the effects of blood on different illnesses. Another theory suggests that Vlad was genuinely fascinated by the supposed rejuvenating properties of blood, and believed that it could help him live longer and maintain his vitality. Regardless of Vlad's true intentions, the rumors and legends surrounding his bloodbaths have had a lasting impact on his legacy. Today, Vlad the Impaler is remembered as one of the most infamous rulers in history. His brutal tactics and alleged blood rituals have earned him a reputation as a ruthless and eccentric monarch. However, it is important to separate fact from fiction and recognize the complexities of this historical figure. Vlad was a product of his time, a medieval ruler who operated in a world of political intrigue and violence. While he may have been guilty of some of the excesses attributed to him, it is essential to consider the context of his actions and the biases of those who sought to tarnish his reputation. So the next time you hear the name Vlad the Impaler, remember that there was a real person behind the myths and legends. A man who lived in a different time and faced different challenges than we do today. Let us honor his memory by striving to be more understanding and compassionate towards those who are different from us. Thank you for watching. See you next time.